6th of July 2004. The Occult Wisdom of the Atlanteans by Eleazar Harash, translated by Ruah Ezekiel, narrated by Daniel King. Introduction. The only true science is the sacred science, so say their priests. It is more religious than religion itself. We are speaking of the Toltecs. They say, you originate from that which you bow down to. Every person originates from that which they bow down to. The true Atlanteans have a sacred past. These are mostly the Toltecs, but their fourth subrace, the Turanians. We spoke some time ago. They are from a completely different dimension, another occurrence. These Turanians, with their way of thinking, created mental, astral monsters. These monsters later interwove into all of history, but today we will speak especially of the Toltecs. For the Toltecs, the most important thing was to hear the immortal voice of truth. This was what they focused on. They say to have love in the Atlantean language means to bring down the sun. For the Toltecs, the solution to life was the sacred approach towards everything that is happening, no matter if it is good or evil. This is the solution of the matter. The Toltecs say the sacred approach surpasses all events, all hardships, and all trials. They say also the sacred approach towards things means also humility. Humility is seeing, and seeing is salvation. So these are three stages. First is humility, then humility is seeing, and seeing is salvation. Of reverence they say, reverence is an attitude towards the place we have originated from. I.e., if you have reverence, awe towards things, you are returning to your origin, the place you have originated from. And then they say, the one who has reverence, they can develop. The one who does not have reverence, they will learn and labour until reverence comes. Until then, they will not develop. They will work, study, labour, but they will not have real development. They will have an imaginary development. According to one of their priests, his name is Azama, a great Atlantean priest. He says so. Wisdom comes from the core of truth, from the core of the quiet. Precisely from there, the secret of the eagle originated, of whom we will speak next time. By the way, the eagle means the supreme awakened essence. This is God within the person. This is their name for God. They call him the eagle. Or Azama says also, everything is preserved in the temple of the pure heart. So the ancient past of the person, creation, all things are preserved, namely there, in the temple of the pure heart. According to him, the ancient cultures are concealed in the memory of the initiates. The so-called living memory. There are people with living memory and people with a memory which has been taken away. The ones who have a living memory can restore the past. Many thousands of years ago in Atlantis, something very big happened, a great drama. During this drama, a huge change in our reality happened. The matter is of the consciousness. The image of our consciousness changed. Today's world continues to be connected to this ancient event, the reason for which was sown by the fourth, the most dangerous race, the Turanians. They have sown, namely, these nightmares, these monsters, which even now continue to work in the astral world, sometimes in the physical world. These Turanians and their nightmares now continue to act in the way of demons, in the internal bodies of the person. They are relentless, and they will not stop working until we have reached our goal, unity with the eagle. In Atlantis, people changed their consciousness. This is why now people of very different levels live here, with very different degrees of consciousness, numerous degrees of consciousness. From then until now, there have been many degrees of the fall of consciousness until we have reached the level of the third dimension. In the Bible, this is called by the simple words of the fall. Along the way of the fall, we have lost Hekau, of which we spoke, i.e. the sacred word, the life essence of things. We have lost our divinity, and we have reached so far as to feed on fallen energies now, called air, food, water, and so on. But on the other hand, through these energies, we can return. If we purify them within ourselves, if we take them in correctly, we can return. If a person breathes Hekau, i.e. their pure essence, then, according to the Atlanteans, they will have completely different perceptions of reality. According to the Toltecs, then reality will raise them, will change them, will return them. Hekau is the living bread which was lost in Atlantis. I will say this differently. When a person has lost the connection to Hekau, i.e. the connection to God, they have changed both their breathing and their thinking. This means that they perceive a completely different reality. When they have fallen from the pure word, they are already breathing completely different air, and they have a completely different way of thinking. This means that they are perceiving another, second reality. The person has forgotten how they were created, as reality, creation, and after their fall, they have started to breathe through their nose and mouth, instead of how dolphins breathe, with their soul. Dolphins breathe in the true, original way. Breathing through the nose and mouth means that you cannot find reality. This is shallow breathing. This is another way of thinking. The ones who breathe in such a way, the Atlanteans call them people with a stricken consciousness, which is a heritage from Atlantis. But from the fourth subrace, the Turanians, from the person's agreement with them, with this race. Back then, the person has signed a contract with them to serve them, and this is what has diverted them. Love towards the truth. The occult science says, do not seek the truth in argument, nor philosophically, nor scientifically, nor religiously. Seek the truth with love. This is the right measure. When you love truth, you devote yourself to it, and then it starts taking care of you and guiding you. When you love the lie and the world, you will meet many hardships and many obstacles, and some of them will be devastating and insurmountable. When you love the truth, the obstacles are of no matter, because God is fighting for you. God and his powers are fighting instead of you. Whoever loves the lie and the world, hardships ruin them, and in the end they destroy them. While the one who loves the truth, hardships build them up. Notice the difference. In one case we have destruction. In the other one, hardships build them up. The love for truth leads the person towards what is essential, towards the thing that they have lost. Demons and breaking the curse. First, a small introduction. On the one hand, life is a battle. On the other hand, life is a game. But for the disciple, life is neither, not a battle nor a game. They only pass through these phases, but they do not remain there. The life of the disciple is depth. The life of the disciple is a particular love towards truth. Not just some attitude, but a particular love towards truth. In this truth, they gain wisdom, which removes them from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. The fate of the person is a particular type of curse. The word itself, fate, as you know, originates from the word judging, judged. Translator's note. In Bulgarian, the words for fate and judged have the same origin. In the angelic world, there is no fate. Anyone who purifies their life, and especially their mind, has no fate. Fate must be healed. This curse is connected to the disobedience towards God from ancient times. It continues now as well. In one way or another, disobedience is working. For example, you may repeat formulas. God, break the curse of my life. Or God, break the curse concerning my health, my finances, my laziness, etc. But for God, sincerity is more important than words. I will look into the concept of fate. Fate is loyalty towards the tree of knowledge of good and evil, loyalty towards death, loyalty towards pleasures. In a heavier sense, loyalty towards the lie as a whole, loyalty towards death. While the freedom which God has given is given so that you are loyal to truth, loyal to God. Love towards the truth is the mightiest instrument for wielding fate and for healing. Whoever has firmly chosen this love towards truth, they cannot be a slave to fate and to its consequences, curses. Only a firm choice can change fate. An ordinary choice cannot. If you simply love truth and other things, it will not happen. A firm choice can change the whole of destiny. Fate is composed of certain inferior energies. They are called the physical body, the etheric body, the astral body, the mental body. All of this is connected to fate. For example, the head of the person is filled with their mental fate. The heart of the person is filled with their astral fate, and the body of the person is filled with their physical fate. And because the person has not chosen love towards truth, they remain within fate, i.e., they have allowed fate to be stronger than them. An allowance. As the healer says of the sickness, you are sick. You have become sick because you have agreed. If you had not agreed, the sickness would have passed by your body and left. But you have allowed it. Upon your agreement, it already enters. You must lead your fate like the horse leads the carriage, and not the other way around. Not as it is now, the carriage leading the horse, i.e., fate leading the person. Your fate is your own ancient unreasonableness, and this is why I say again, the word fate originates from the word judging, judged. This is your own unreasonableness. It cannot help you because demons and Satan today are cleverer than ever, cleverer than back in Atlantis. They have a lot of experience already. For example, I will explain to you one subtlety which took place on the secret gathering of the demon parliament, of which we have spoken. Satan gathers the demons and he tells them, "From now on, you shall not lie to people constantly." They were surprised because this is their nature. But he orders them and explains, if you lie to people constantly, you will be distinguished and exposed. People will take measures. They will unite and find a way to defeat you. So from now on, you shall study the holy books, and you shall speak the truth very often. When the time is right, you shall say the small or big lie, which brings ruin. This is a strategy, a fine demonic strategy, to which I will gradually introduce you, so they may speak the truth to you for a long time, because it is convenient for them. They see gain in the truth, because they do not have love towards the truth. They see that in this way they can enslave people, and in fact they have enslaved many people, even advanced ones, spiritual people. Fate is the inner state of the person's unreasonableness. Fate conquers and enslaves only unreasonable people. This means that within reasonableness is the way out of fate. And regarding curses, they come from the great justice of God. Why? Sometimes you might think that someone has been unrightfully judged. Let us say, let me not call them, the medics in Libya. Translator's note. The HIV trial in Libya or Bulgarian nurses' affair concerns the trials, appeals and eventual release of 6 medical workers charged with conspiring to deliberately infect over 400 children with HIV in 1998, causing an epidemic in a children's hospital in Benghazi. God is judging them for their past and secret sins. They might not remember them, but this does not matter. Their trials have been delayed for a very long time, only so that they may change, repent, turn the course around. And they are looking for some help from people. They made this big matter in society. They are having fun, and they cannot understand something very elementary. One deep repentance, and all their secret and visible sins will fall away. But you must realize it. Woe unto those waiting for help from the world. Because when God does not give them help, even if the world does help them, things will become worse later. But I do not have the idea of discussing such elementary matters here. If the diagnosis is to be cursed, then all medication is delusion. Medication cannot help. On the contrary, the demons rejoice when people take more medication and become confused. This works well for the demons. The curse is actually the hidden enemy of the person, and it acts internally, quietly, insidiously, and dangerously. What is the main reason for the curse? Renouncing God, renouncing the truth. This matter cannot be solved with half-truths. A very firm choice is necessary, and if you are sincere, then even if you make mistakes on your way towards truth, God will see this sincerity. He will change you. He will guide you, and he will liberate you. All of this means that in order to heal our fate, we must fulfill the sacred law, love towards God. Everyone has heard of it, but we must deeply understand it, firmly choose it if we want change. Precisely this firm, chosen love towards God, love towards truth, dilutes fate, i.e., the feeling of being doomed. The healing of fate and the healing of every sickness begins always with this law, love towards God, love towards truth. Precisely this love is the path towards cleansing yourself, your room, every thought. Later, I will tell you in what way the demons enter to live in a room. The cause of every sickness is hidden in the smallest negative thought. This is the beginning. This is the seed. You will observe your own self. If you feed negative, ill thoughts, sickness awaits you. You are sowing it. Then you will have no choice. You must reap it, because the basis of every sickness is the smallest negative thought. This is why, some time ago, I spoke to you a lot of the spiritual diaries, diaries of truth, diaries of non-criticism, because this is a constant purification of the mind, a constant discipline. In a year or two, the biggest enemy of the person, the most dangerous sickness, has been imperceptibly cured. The Master calls it the snake of olden times. There lies the karma of the person. There is everything. If it is not purified, having your sickness cured is of no use, because then there will be new sickness. If certain demons are chased out of the person, and the person has nothing to fill this void space with, if they cannot fill it with love towards God and towards truth, the demons will return with other demons, colleagues, and they will fill the space even more strongly, because this space must be filled with either one or the other. Demons do not like the sanctified water, of which I will speak to you later. They even hate it. All of this means that you must be a person of exceptional loyalty towards the truth, because Satan and the demons will make efforts to defeat you in the mind, in your way of thinking. And if you do not learn to think correctly, then the demons have succeeded. Besides, for the demons, it is very good if you have nice deeds and bad thinking. This is the other thing that they really like. All of this means that God is love for the reasonable ones and law for the unreasonable ones. Mental healing. Every accepted insinuation of sickness drains the life energy. It does not matter if this comes from a person, from a doctor, or from the inside. This is an attack. In the beginning, a small, humble thought comes. I will get sick. And if you begin to repeat this to yourself, you begin to sow. Accepting the negative insinuation means chasing away God and your helpers, chasing away spiritual support, chasing your reasonableness away from yourself. Every positive self-suggestion is a connection to the invisible spiritual source. All of this means that whatever you suggest to yourself, this is what you establish in yourself. This is a law. This means think of health in order to affirm it. Thought is a spiritual magnet. Whatever you are thinking of, you are attracting, and it is becoming stronger and stronger. If you are constantly thinking about your health, it does not matter what the sickness is. Recently, I visited our boy, who is getting better and better. He jumped from the 5-story window. This was also a strategy of God. I will not explain long here, but an exceptionally deep strategy. He was despairing greatly. He was feeding bad thoughts for a long time, including criticism towards God. We had many conversations. This was God's plan to help him, and now he is ascending. When I visited him, and I asked, "These are laws which I am sharing. He is only the occasion. Will you live reasonably now? Because if you promise me that you will live reasonably, we will get you on your feet." He said, 100% reasonableness. I told him briefly, this is what I wanted to hear. At the moment, he is better and better, and within a month or two, he understood what was asked of him. What I want to say, one law, it is not the sick person that is healed, it is their thought, their way of thinking, their approach towards things that is healed. And this is the strategy of God. He is raising him up now. He started to love truth but in another way, for which I congratulate him. He is growing and appreciating things now. He will be careful from now on regarding words as well, because every word can help and build him up. The positive self-suggestion is healing. This is a very ancient method of many peoples, a true healing, and the Master says the disciple must work with self-suggestion. If someone tells you you will get sick, you can tell them at least 10 times, I will be healed. I will give you 2 examples by the Master, even though I have told them to you. The wife was on her deathbed, and the doctor told her husband that she is dying. The husband accepted this. They talked a little while with his wife, and she asked him, "Tell me sincerely, when I die, will you remarry or not?" The husband said, "I will remarry. Then I will not die." And she lived many years more. It does not matter if it was out of jealousy. To survive is more important, because you will learn important lessons. The other occurrence happened somewhere in Brazil. 2 people paralyzed in hospital. No one could cure them. There are no people with such vibration, no such doctors. All of a sudden, through the open window, a huge snake crawls in. They forgot that they were paralyzed. They got up and ran away. They were healed. There is another similar example with a mother who was paralyzed, but she loved her child very much. A fire broke out, so a very big vibration is needed. When she saw the fire, because love is very strong, it is more than fire. She forgot the fire, outgrew it, took the child, ran away a certain distance, and then she realized that she was cured. The fire comes to help. A strong vibration is needed so that the person is healed. But they must earn this visit. They must earn this fire. Why is self-suggestion healing? Because it is entering into a state of peace and trust. 2 words. And trust and peace are an entrance into God, into the source of life. This self-suggestion is connected to the right way of thinking. This is a right understanding. The right understanding itself is the right universal medicine for the person. 3rd of August 2004. The occult wisdom of the Toltecs continued. The Toltecs say, in the mind there are many living beings with countless opinions and voices. The mind hears many voices. They are coming from many other worlds. The matter is of consciousness and realities. This is why the Toltecs decided that the mind must be completely purified and mastered. Unlike 2 other dangerous races in Atlantis, the Turanians and the Mongols. By the way, this is the most dangerous enemy, the most dangerous sickness, the mind not mastered. Even if you were healed from a serious sickness, if your mind is impure, if it is not fully purified, then expect new problems and sicknesses. This is the main thing which must be attained and must be healed. If the mind is purified and the person is awakened, then the ones usually talking to them are connected to the gods and to all the reasonable, supreme beings. One of the most important conditions is the purified and mastered mind. While the mind not mastered very easily perceives the intentions of hell, i.e. of the fallen beings, this just happens naturally. They are vibrating together. In the Toltec tradition, God is called the eagle, which means the purest spirit. They also call him the eternally soaring one. Regarding the Nagual, or the Master, it is considered that the Master is a being wielding special energy, a particular energy which can help others. The Nagual is a person who has the ability to guide people towards their own eagle. The Masters, who are called Naguals, have this ability to guide people towards their own eagle, towards their own spirit, towards their own soaring. The Nagual teaches the person this, that the person themselves wields a mighty power which connects them to the eagle within themselves. This power is within the person themselves, and it is a specific energy. It has another quality, another ray. This mighty and specific energy which connects the person to the eagle is called by the Toltecs the pure intention. Precisely because of this, the Nagual helps the disciple to reach this energy and this soaring, i.e. to reach their own eagle, their own spirit, which means their own freedom and also their own love. All beings are actually this eagle, this soaring, but when they have known themselves. According to the Toltecs, people are suffering from the lack of the eagle within themselves. The main reason, i.e. from lack of awakenedness, of supremacy, of soaring. And this means a lack of an inflow of new energy as well. If there is no vigilance, there is no inflow of new energy. The Toltecs say that the person is liberated from fear if they are able to voyage in the depths of their own eagle, i.e. within their pure spirit, which knows only freedom. The Toltecs say that love gives birth to the blessed energy within the person, and they say love is this energy which turns into health, into spirituality, into the true way. It is health itself, spirituality itself, the guide itself, the way itself. In Atlantis, and particularly for the Toltecs, it is considered that all human convictions are a system which the Toltecs called the Book of Hell. Wherever there are human convictions, i.e. where the mind is working, they called it the Book of Hell. The Book of Hell is composed of parasites of the consciousness, i.e. bad thoughts, bad feelings, bad convictions. These are parasites of the consciousness connected to this book. They explain of the parasite. The parasite is a living being which is composed of an ephemeral, fine energy. In order to live, the parasite must feed. Therefore, it aims to create wrong convictions, wrong thoughts, wrong feelings. They call all of this dream visions. In this area fall fear, hate, depressions, nightmares, which all manufacture the corresponding emotions, i.e. food. So anyone who has such thoughts and emotions has these things in them also. Either fear or hate or depressions or nightmares. The parasites love these things because they manufacture precisely the corresponding emotions, i.e. food. Every consciousness which is self-destructing is controlled by parasites. The Toltecs knew that in order to deal with the parasites, you must declare war on them. On the one hand, this means to declare your freedom, your own way of thinking. It does not matter how the world thinks. It does not matter how the parasites and society think at all. You must declare your own way of thinking. You must declare war. The Toltecs chose the way of rebellion because the other way meant that they must surrender themselves to the parasites and to become people of the world, like the other races. And this is why they called themselves warriors. The warrior is a person who completely realizes the presence of the parasites. They do not say, "Are the parasites there? Are they not?" They do not guess. They are fully aware that the parasites exist. This is very important in order to declare war to them. They are completely aware of the presence of the parasites inside their own mind, not somewhere else. Inside your own mind. This is where the war is declared. The battle with the parasites is the way out of the Book of Hell. For the Toltec warriors, the way towards freedom means an overcoming of. They speak one peculiar language, Nahuatl Toli, one of the Atlantean languages, which remained consequently with some peoples, an overcoming of Mitote. Mitote means chaos, i.e. the normal human consciousness. They declare total war to it, no agreement with it. Warrior means to begin strategically a gradual and perpetual war. The matter is of a very clever enemy. It is ephemeral. It is without a body. It insinuates. It diverts. It dissuades. And they declare total war to it, but strategically, gradually, and with persistence, i.e., they declare war against evil and all parasites in themselves, not in the world, in themselves. And this means to have the right love towards yourself, according to the Toltecs. This is a measure, and this means not to betray yourself, but to have the right love towards yourself and towards life in general. Next time we will speak especially of the Toltec warrior. They are also called hunters of energy. For example, if they are chased by a tiger, the tiger will not take their energy through fear. On the contrary, the Toltec robs the tiger.